Welcome to Millionaire Agents Secrets, uncovering the hidden gems to help you become the next $1 million agent. And here's your host, Milton Player.
Today I'm Milton Player, your host of Millionaire Agents Secrets, and today I have a superstar agent from Queensland, Chris Gilmour. He's an agent, speaker, coach, mentor. He's a racing car enthusiast, has the lap record at Mount Panorama, the circuit in Australia that's very well known, best-selling author of Sold in 60 Seconds, sold over 900 properties in 9 years, and that's over $1 billion worth of real estate, and has been the salesperson of the year for 7 years running at All Properties Group. How are you, Chris?
I'm really good, Milton. How are you?
Good. Have I told everyone enough about you?
That's too much, man.
No worries. So thank you very much for joining me, mate. We'll start with something that's proved to be quite a fun question. See what you think of it.
Sure, go for it. Hit me.
What social group were you in at high school? What did you learn being part of that social group? And how has that impacted the choices that you've made in your career and life?
Okay, so that was 18 years ago. I've got to remember. What social group? Oh, look, mate, all I did was play basketball. So, so I hated school. I was hardly ever there because I was away a lot with motor racing as well, which was pretty cool. But I finished year 12, but didn't really probably get great marks, to be honest. I failed a few subjects, as you know, someone with my attention span probably would. So, social group, mate, really probably wasn't part of anyone in a group of such. I wasn't with the cool kids or the geeks or anything like that. I was always did my own thing, sort of thing, really, to be honest. So.
Yeah. And how did you say, I suppose it helped you for real estate because it can be a bit of a solo thing sometimes as well, can't it? It's a team effort and a solo effort. It's almost like you're in a racing car.
Yeah, look, it is sort of, but I probably real estate is more a team effort, to be honest. To be able to do it properly, you've got to have a good team behind you for sure.
Yeah, you do. So, what is your team? Do you have PAs and things like that backing you?
Yeah, mate. So there's 4 of us in the team, Milton. So there's myself, which is the lead agent, which I basically just do all the listings, all the listing presentations, secure the business. I maintain the database, keeping in touch with clients and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I run open homes on weekends. So that's really all I probably do now within the team. So really probably the 2 most, dollar productive things, secure the listing and then, keep your face out there on Saturdays as well. So I've got Troy Stein. Troy is full-time buyers manager. So all he basically does is just shows the homes all day, every day during the week and stays in touch with the buyers and stuff like that. And then I have 2 admin staff behind us that do everything else. Just so me and Troy can really focus on what we need to do. And it's basically how the teams run.
What do you think makes the difference for you to be such a successful agent, to be the salesperson of the year for 7 years in a row? What did you do differently?
What did I do? I do it. That's probably the biggest thing that we find with a lot of our agents. So I'm the business owner as well. So, we see a lot of agents come and go. There's just no commitment. There's no consistency. There's no focus there. Really, look, I'm still doing the same stuff I was doing 10 years ago, just doing it on a bigger scale now. Mm-hmm. Probably that's we go to these training seminars and all these motivational places and stuff like that. And, they always say you got to implement it. If you don't implement it, nothing happens. So, but look, just work our butts off, man. That's really all it comes back to. It's hard work. That's all it is.
Yeah. What about from an influential point of view? So you're in a listing. Is there anything you say or do? Is there a strategy that you have that will win the presentation no matter what? So even if they've never met you before, sure, they may have heard of you. What is that?
Yeah, basically, look, I put a piece of paper down on the table, which is called the agenda, and it's got 5 tick boxes. So you've got to, these people have got to remember that, people don't do appraisals every single day of their life. It might be once every 7 years. They wouldn't even remember the last one that they did. So the first thing that I always go through is number 1 is understanding. So that's just really understanding what the client wants, asking them questions, seeing when they want to move, where, why, who, what experience do they have previously? And then I ask permission, have we got enough information to move on to stage 2? So stage 2 then is talking about method. So they understand, is it auction, private treaty, no price, offers over? What strategy do they like? What do they feel comfortable with? And what is the market going to respond to best? Once we've got approval and said, look, yep, okay, we're set on an option. Okay, tick that box and move on to the next one. We talk about marketing. And then that is when we go through all our marketing of what we're going to do on the property, how much they want to spend, where they want to spend it and stuff like that. Again, once you finish there and they're in agreement, with your fee and stuff on your marketing, tick it, move on to the next one. Then stage 4 is basically, we talk about price. Where do we think that the property is going to sit in the marketplace and comparable to others on the market and that have sold previously? And again, once we've, got the permission, yep, we're both in agreement with this one, we tick it. Number 5 basically says, well, we agree with all 4. Are we ready to start today? So it's really, we don't move on to stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 until we've answered all their objections and everything. So by the time you get to the end of it, they basically have said yes the whole way through to sign.
So you do pricing towards the end. So that's interesting. Any reason you don't ever come that towards the start so they get that out of there? Because aren't they thinking the whole time, well, what price?
Well, as soon as you give them a price, and if you're not in agreement and you don't understand what they're looking for or their motivation, you've lost it straight away if you're on a complete different, wavelength. So it's probably the biggest thing is I don't talk about price in a home. I don't give a price. I never have, never will. Okay, at the end of the day, I sit in front of them and say, look, I'm probably the only agent that you're going to have that's honest. But out of the 1,000 homes that I've sold, I've been wrong 1,000 times. Yet I still sell more than anyone else. How can I be so right but so wrong all the time? It's because it comes back to method. I'm not your buyer. We need to find your buyer. That's what you're paying us for. So I really get around that objective. And Chris, what's my home worth? Well, I can tell you it's worth 500. Some other agent's going to come in and tell you it's worth 550. You list it with them. That's not how I do my business. So I always leave it to end.
And they take that well, but I like the way you frame that, so I can see why they understand that and move on. So it's good.
Yeah, sure. They always do.
Yeah. What about negotiation? Are you an expert at negotiation?
I think I'd have to be, to get all these deals over the line.
I'd say so.
So that's what we're trained in. We're trained in marketing, and we're highly skilled in negotiating. So. And getting the deals together. And I think, first ones you've got to negotiate to get the listing, to work out your deals and where you sit, but then to also close the deal with the buyer and get the seller to the same page and the buyer to the same page. So, we did 127 deals last year, which I think ranked us 3rd in Australia for the most amount of sales for the financial year. So, look, we've got to be half decent at it to get so many over the line, I think.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought you must have amazing negotiation skills. Do you have any tactics or tools or scripts that you use, anything you find that really works well, or is it just off the cuff?
Yeah, it's always off the cuff. I'm not a real big believer of scripts and dialogues, to be honest. And I know everyone in real estate, that's all they talk about. But I think every person is completely different. Every client that you're dealing with is going to take a different script, or it's case by case, and like we just secured one this morning, first home buyers from Sydney. You could tell they were really quiet. They're not my personality. So you can't go in all guns blazing. It's a process. You've got to take them through them, and really take the time with them, where some I might get done in 10 minutes. But these guys have been since Saturday. So it's taken 4 days, but we've got the deal together, so it's just really understanding the client, to be honest.
Absolutely. So I really believe perception is one of the most important things, wrapped with influence and suggestion, use of those sort of tools as well. But perception is major, isn't it? And one of the problems I see with a lot of agents that think they can just come in and become great at sales is they have no skills in perception. The same?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So if you're training a new person, what do you focus on mostly with them? Is it their EQ? Is it the way they're addressing their clients? Is it their mindset? Or is it actual tools?
Yeah. I think probably the first thing that you need to really work on is their attitude and their mindset. You know, if they believe, then it's the rest of the job is easy. So mindset's a big thing. And just getting some systems in place. I'm really organised. I'm probably the most unorganised person in my life, but in my business, I'm probably the most organised. So it's all about just having systems and procedures. And there's a couple of key things that we work on when we have new people that enter into the business, but it's really just trying to get them to, you know, start on the right foot. You know, they follow us for about 3 months so they can hear and see what we're doing, how we're doing it, when we use tonality, what sort of body language do we use at certain times. You know, there's everyone thinks selling a house is selling a house, but you're actually selling yourself to people. You know, that's what real estate's all, I think, is all about, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. So in reality, from, I suppose, your whole career, what's the most grueling or the hardest challenge that you've had to go through, and how did you get over the pain of that? What did you learn from it?
Look, I don't think I've been really through any pain. The only thing that really shits me in this industry is the low fee, our competitors that are really just basing their service and their skill and winning the business on just absolutely dropping their pants on their feet just to win a business. And that's the biggest thing I hate about this industry. I just wish we were all the same across the board the whole way. But, you know, it's like you can buy a Kia or you can buy a BMW. You know, they still do the same thing, but some are luxury and some are probably going to break down 3 or 4 times. So, but that's probably the only thing I hate within this industry is just how desperate people are, to be honest. Agents, when I mean people. So,
yeah, you pay peanut. You'll hire. What is it? You pay hire monkeys. You pay monkeys. You get peanuts or something like that. What's the saying?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, mate. So it's in this industry as well, but you know, you've just got to make sure you're better than them. But and you don't win them all. But you know, some people are just on a shop you basically on fee, which I think is just ludicrous. You know, when they're dealing with $500,000 or $2 million properties, you know, they're basing it on saving $3,000. It does my head in. I don't know. I don't understand. I'd love to understand the psychology behind it with the people trying to save that sort of money when they're dealing with such a big amount of money that, you know, the agent can produce a price 10, 20, 50, $100,000 more than anyone else in skill. So
yeah, exactly right. I think they get desperate, don't they? And I suppose because you kill your area, because your service is so profoundly good and you do get a lot higher prices than everyone else, the competitors, they just get desperate. It's their only way of doing it. Just drop the fee, and just hope that the cheap people will go with them and they'll at least be able to eat their bacon and eggs in the morning or something. Strange way of thinking instead of improving their skills. So, Chris, what is the funniest thing that's ever happened to you in real estate? Is there anything strange that's happened or odd or hilarious?
To be honest, looking back, no, I don't think there is. I've had death threats.
That's pretty bad.
You know, yeah. You know, because you got to remember, we're dealing with a lot of separation, divorce, and stuff like that in this industry, and you're playing with a lot of money. But no, I've had, I've sold drug homes. You don't realise until afterwards and when you get told and stuff like that. But I've had, I think, 2 death threats from vendors, just psychotic people that we deal with. Just over trivial little stuff, but you know, that's half of this job is you got to manage the expectations, the anxiety levels of what owners go through when selling properties as well. But yeah, funny, look, we have lots of fun in the office and stuff, but you know, out in the field, it's pretty serious. We take it very serious. Man, I don't think anything really funny has happened, to be honest. So, right. Look, probably the funniest thing that I can think of was I was running an open home and it was absolutely pouring down rain. So I took my shirt off and I did my next open home like Magic Mike. So that's you know, it's probably the only thing that I can remember that would be anywhere close to funny. So.
That's good. And because it works so well, you've been doing the same thing ever since, hey?
No, mate, no one turned up to the open home, so I was sort of lucky. So, but Now I always carry a spare jacket and shirt with me just in case that happens. So.
Oh, wow. I'll have to make sure we send you a prank so you can have a hilarious thing happen to you.
Yeah.
When you least expect it.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right, for sure.
Who are your motivators or influencers? Who's had the most profound effect on you?
That's probably look. There's two people. First one would be John McGrath, of course. I think he's a lot of people's. So definitely John and Glenn Twiddle. Twids has had a big part in my career as a trainer and coach of myself personally and our team. So out of the two that I could think of, it'd definitely be John and Glenn for sure.
Yeah, two great people. Hey.
Yeah, fantastic.
So
absolutely great people.
How do you market yourself now? So do you use social media a lot with your business?
Yeah, huge on. Yeah, definitely huge on social media. It's so cheap at the moment, so we're really just capitalizing on while it's costing you 1 to 3 cents per eyeball on your ad. Because it's money for jam at the moment. So I'd be spending anywhere between $4,000 to $6,000 a month just on Facebook advertising. Just in our and what I love about it is you can pinpoint it into the areas that you want it to be in. You know, so it was quite funny. I got a message from someone last night. Never met him, and he said, "Mate, get off my Facebook, you fool." So he's obviously just sick of seeing the ads, and I'm like, mate, you can hide those ads. So instead of sending me a nice message like that, you just simply go, it's harassing, or it's stop, or it's irrelevant. Because so I know it's working, so which is cool. And probably when he drives down the street, he sees the billboards and the bus stops. But that's marketing, and that's what it's all about, and that's what we're in. So
yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. No, it's good. I like it. Let's say you could go back 20 years and tell yourself one thing. What would that be?
Probably not get into real estate.
Just become a racing car driver instead.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah. So, look, I've been very happy with how we've gone in the 10 years we've been in the industry. And I've kept a very level head and kept it very consistent, and made a great lifestyle out of the industry. I still love it every day. Still passionate about it. Still will do it for the next 20 years if it's around. Yeah. So, but anyone that I'm saying that I meet, Chris, what's the first bit of advice you should say about getting into real estate? I say get out, because you sacrifice a lot of things. You very rarely see friends, very rarely go out. Again, look, everyone goes, that's your choice, and it is my choice. I work a lot, but and it's got its rewards. It can set you up very young and very early in life, which I think long term it's probably going to be all worth it. But you've got your phone with you 24/7. So even when you're out, we're out Saturday night with friends, and there was still 24 messages that came through in the 2.5 hours that we're out. It's just you sort of can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's right. That's not good for your blood pressure.
But anyway. Oh no, I'm fine with blood pressure, mate. I keep nice and fit, so I'll be okay with that stuff. But look, it's a cool industry. I love it. I couldn't think of anything else apart from racing cars that I would be doing, to be honest. So.
Yeah, look, I was talking to some of our team this morning, and we were saying how to them, because a few of them are new, one thing with an owner where they're a little bit off the planet and strange things happen, it encompasses their whole day and their whole life. But when you have 20 of those things happen, you start to realize you can just box them. But a lot of people, so from the outside, they think it's so easy and it's just a cruise. They don't realize. But if they like psychology, they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, if they definitely
want to learn about themselves, they'll enjoy it too. So you were talking about fitness. Fitness. So what do you do? What exercises do you do? How do you keep fit?
Look, man, I've always kept fit, mainly because of my motor racing. But I think to run at the sort of levels that we do with the team here, we've got to be fit. So it's just 1.5 hours in the gym 3 times a week, sort of thing. So a lot of swimming, a lot of riding, rowing, a bit of weight work. I'm not a big built person, but it's more cardio and just so you're always fresh and high levels of energy. We're running 30 open homes on a Saturday. So it's just go from 5 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the arvo, sort of thing. So it's pretty crazy. So a full bag of M&Ms in the car on a Saturday sort of does wonders as well too. So
Lift you and then put you back down again later.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So the sugar rush, but you got to keep very fit. I think and it's like anything. If you want to be high performance in anything, whether it's work or career or sport, you've got to be, I believe.
And you eat well as well. A lot of veggies, a lot of fruit.
No, not really.
No.
Yeah, nah, not at all. That's why I go to the gym, man, so I can afford to eat that sort of stuff. So
yeah, it's the good.
I had my a lot of eggs, mate, a lot of fruit. But veggies every night. But look, you can still, Saturday night we had yum cha and then sanchuros for dessert. So it's all good. You're allowed a treat here and there. Yeah,
definitely, mate, definitely. If you were starting out from scratch, what would you do now? If you were just starting, you were brand new in real estate.
What would I do? I would spend a lot of money on Facebook to get it out there very quickly, to get your brand out there. People got to remember it's not the company that you work for. People deal with people, not brands. We really encourage that in our group. Just, it's more about the agent as a brand. What would I do? I would grow a team, and I'd grow a team really quickly.
Right.
You really just get someone behind you really quickly, because you make more money when you got more people, but you can also, you're sort of buying some time off as well too, and employ the right people.
Yeah, so it is leveraging your time. And I suppose if you do treat it as a salesperson like it is your business within a business, it's not such a big scary thing to hire people, is it then? It's I'm building my own company within it.
Yeah, no, exactly right, mate. Exactly right.
So did your parents, did they support you a lot, motivate you and push you that way to succeed?
No, I think it's just, look, my dad's a perfectionist, and I think that's come through from the motor racing with the competition. We've got to make sure that the car is right, the body's right, the driver's right, the engine's right, everything is right, to win on the racetrack, because it's the difference between 1/10, between first and second. So I've taken a lot of that from my motor racing into real estate, just knowing that our brand's got to be right, I've got to be fit, I've got to be healthy, our listing presentation's got to be perfect, our open home. So it's probably called OCD, I think some people call it. But everything does have to be perfect. So that's probably the biggest thing that I've taken away from the old boy, for sure.
Yeah. So it's good. And when we talk about John or Glenn, what would you say the best piece of advice you've ever received from them is that's really guided or helped you? Is there anything that really stands out?
Yeah, look, I think from John, just the humility that, he's just so nice.
Yeah, isn't he?
There's no arrogance there. There's no ego. So it's that's probably the biggest thing. So I'm still learning that. So I've still got a chip on my shoulder. And with Glenn, Glenn's just good to have there on your side. So, I ring him probably once a week. We have a good chat. We still have him, 7 years as my coach. So he's just one of the sort of the right-hand man guys that you just a mate that you can talk to, sort of thing, that understands what you're going through and what you're trying to do. So that's probably, the two things from them guys, for sure.
Okay. And when you carry out your opens, do you do anything unique or different there that really stands out to show the professionalism in your open for inspections?
Look, you can have all the fancy flags and signboards and lollies and music and all that sort of stuff, but I think the real key in the value is in the follow-up, and that's where a lot of agents go wrong. They just don't follow up.
Isn't that the truth?
It's pretty simple. Yeah.
What about listing presentation? Do you have before and after, let's think? So before, do you have anything that you do, any anchors you use? Do you listen to music before you go in, or do you're so used to it now you just naturally power on through?
No, just rock up and wing it every time.
Yep. Which sometimes is the best way. If you go in thinking too much, you can blow it, can't you? You want to be natural.
Look, again, every person you meet is going to have a different story. So it's you've got to. We always talk about in this job, you've got to be like a chameleon. You've got to be able to and adaptable. So you've got to be able to adapt to certain, certain ethnic groups, certain people, certain religions. There's 100 different things.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what about after with follow-up? Do you have a process that you go with follow? I know Matt Steinway has a whole system that he does. Is there anything that you do? Next day call, drop them something, or is it just wing that?
Yeah, look, no. That's a set system, that, mate, for sure. So if we don't list it then and there on the spot, then obviously we send something out straight afterwards. Then we'll contact them the very next day to see if they had any questions, or, you know, when they had a discussion at night, was there anything else that they'd like to know? And if not, from there, look, there's a pretty good chance that you're not going to get the listing then and there. So I really more try and focus on listing them then and there.
Yeah.
It's hard to if you don't.
Very hard if you don't. Yeah, and painful too. It's best to know there and then, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, look, mate, you know at the end of the day when you walk out if you gelled or not.
Yeah.
So I pretty much know which ones I'm going to get and which ones I won't.
So what about closing then in that case? Have you got a set thing that you say to close? Is there a strategy you have? Do you trial close?
Yeah, all the way through it, to be honest, all the way.
Yeah.
You know, just setting little trial close questions just to see where they're at. But look, the form that they have to fill out before we get there basically tells me when they're listing it anyway. So, so there's a key couple of little things that I have that I'll know whether, you know, as soon as I hop in. But I think that the listing actually starts on the phone call from when they actually first ring you. So most people just book the appointment and we'll go and see them, you know, within, you know, that day or the next day, where I'd spend 20 minutes with them on the phone.
Yeah, which would set you apart before.
Yeah, 100%. So.
Yeah. And what about the strategy then? Do you do anything different to sell a house than the other agents, or is it more relying on the marketing? Just your marketing's better?
Yeah, look, our marketing's completely better. We offer a lot more. We do a lot more. We present it in a much better light. We're very strategic in the way that we show the home, how we present the home online, how many photos we'll use, how will we write our ads. So there's definitely an art to it, and you know, it works well. So we won't change it at this stage. Yeah.
I wish you were in Caboolture, mate, because I'm trying to sell a house there at the moment, and it's not much fun. I need someone like you.
Yeah, mate, there'll be someone there. Got to be.
Yeah, definitely. So what's a personal habit that you believe contributes to your success other than your OCD?
I don't know. I always learn. I'm always learning. You know, I'm still going to conferences all the time and never thinking that I completely know it all just yet. So, and always changing and evolving, you know, just not really set, you know, like so many of these older companies that have been around for a long time, that's great. But I think they're starting to lose the plot a little bit because they're still doing things that they were doing back in the 90s. Everyone talks about what they were doing in the 80s. Well, I'm talking what you were doing in the 90s isn't working today. Even in the early 2000s, it's not going to work today. You know, the game has changed. The clients have changed. Our expectations have changed. You know, they only want to pay $5,000 to get the Ferrari service. Yep. You know, and it's just the way the consumer has changed. And we're always talking about that. So in our group.
Yeah. And I know from aspiring agents, you have some marketing that you give out. We bought some of your stuff and it's very good. So how do people find you, Chris? Just Google you.
Yeah, Google me. Yeah.
So you
can download the app from iTunes or Android store, Chris Gilmour app. Website soldin60seconds.com.au. That's where they can catch me, or chrisgilmour.com.au. But majority go to soldin60seconds.com.au. So
yeah,
it's like anything. You just Google everything, don't you?
You do.
Yeah, it's just quick and easy.
It is. Have you got chrisgilmour.com or is it just .com.au?
Yeah, it's chrisgilmour.com.au. I think the chrisgilmour.com some sculpture dude that's in Russia or something. So,
all right. So that's gone.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go, mate? I know I've used up a lot of your time.
Nah, it's all good, mate. That should give them enough, I think.
Yeah, I think so, buddy. It's been some gems there, so I really appreciate it, Chris, and thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see you in Formula One soon.
No, too old for that, man.
Yeah, true.
For sure. No, I'll keep doing my Formula 3. It's still fun.
Yeah, very good. So, all right, mate.
All good.
Thanks, Chris.
No worries, Milton.
All the best, buddy.
No worries, man. Thanks, mate. See you later.
Bye, mate.
Thank you for listening to Millionaire Agents Secrets. Want 5 times more listings? Go to www.miltonplayer.com for a free cheat sheet.